Hello and welcome to Road America for round 3 of the 2013 UF1R World Championship. Sammy is looking to make it 3 from 3 and is 14 points ahead of Edster. Iron is third and 4 points behind, with Roy a further 4 points adrift. In the constructors, Marussia rule the roost, with Caterham, Williams and McLaren very tightly bunched together. No surprises at the head of the field as Sammy took another pole position ahead of Roy. Ed has not practiced as much and is in third. Stephen is fourth. Iron down in fifth will have plenty of ground to make up. Skoda a good sixth. Diablo qualified seventh. Justin much higher up the field this time for Force India. Mogius lines up ninth for his first race of the year. 622 is 10th. Lorena is 11th. And Joel having lots of internet problems at the moment. He's had to pull out of the championship. Grant 13th. Cast 14th. Nitrous surprisingly low down due to a keyboard issue, and Tommen has confirmed rumours that he will pull out of the championship as well. Cyrus is 17th, Doof 18th in the ever reliable Marussia, and Jake making a last minute return for Big Racing. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights! And Stephen a little slow to react to the lights, but Roy as usual makes a great getaway. They're all extremely bunched together. Let's hope they've all got a clear field of view. Ed's going very wide. That's going to drop him down. He's lost 7 places there. Roy and Sammy just being pursued by a cacophony of colours. Here's 622. He's braked very early for turn 3. Lorena and now Ed going past him. And Jake making a move on Magius, proving just how crucial turn 3 is. Skoda sizing up Justin as they brake for the hairpin in the approach to the carousel. And Chris in the background looks like he just didn't brake in time there. And Justin's gone wide and is vulnerable. Grant, Lorena, and now Edster trying to pass him. Ed is already starting to recover and make up places. That's 3 so far on the first lap. And he's passing Lorena to take yet another place. Through the jump and he finds himself behind 3 cars. He goes alongside Stephen, Grant, and he's got the momentum to challenge Skoda. Stephen dives into the apex, but Ed gets on the power earlier. Justin passing 3 cars there, and oh, something's fallen off Doof's car. Sammy is first, Roy's second, Iron third. Then Ed, Skoda, Stephen, Grant, Justin, Lorena, 622, Jake, Mogius, Diablo, Nitrous, and I think Jake's having a go at 622. Good move from Jake. Oh, and he passes Lorena as well, make up so many places on this opening laps. And Skoda is challenging Stephen. Skoda tries to launch up the inside. Oh, and Jake hits the exit of turn 3. And now he's at the mercy of all 5 of these cars he's fighting with. At the front, Roy defending from Iron. But he hits the carousel, Iron goes through. Stephen is back ahead of Skoda and Jake fighting his way back through this pack. And Laredo in the slightly differently coloured Lotus trying to attack Diablo and succeeding. Stephen defending from Skoda, which has allowed Grant to close in. Does he fancy go at Skoda? Oh, not quite. Jake trying to find a way past 62 and hops right over him. Well, I don't think 62 got the best of the landings. Oh, look at that. 3 cars past him in 2 corners as Diablo attacks Loreno. Loreno slow up the hill, allows 622 to attack. And Roy similarly up the front, having to defend from Ed, who's looking very feisty at the moment. Riding with Justin. Ooh, trying to go around the outside of Grant, but ran out of road there. 622. Ooh, lunges down the inside. Brave move on Diablo there. But has it worked out? They've got a long run to that carousel hairpin. The Russian in the Ferrari has not given up yet, though. He's right alongside and dives down into the carousel. And Nitrous clearly having brake problems there. As Justin dives down, oh, but doesn't quite work out. Diablo goes wide and 62 has another go through the jump. And he gets up into 11th place. Meanwhile, we're riding with Skoda as he's got Grant all over the back of him, but Grant has to lift. And Justin coming up from behind, oh, squashes him on the head. That's going to hurt, but I think the Mercedes driver is alright. Justin going in way too deep there. And Mogius has a go at Grant, but Grant forces him back around the outside and holds 7th place. When Diablo's had a bad lap because Lorena and 62 have passed him. Chris, though, about to be passed by Cast, and Moggy steams down the inside of Grant. He's absolutely flying at the moment. And Steve has passed Edster. He must have made a mistake, Edster, at some point. Probably at turn 3, I think. There's the carousel, and Grant goes wide. Justin passes him. And the leader's starting to pull away from Ed, and he knows that he needs to pass Stephen as quickly as possible. Especially if he wants to have any chance of finishing on the podium today. Looks like the fellow Brit is able to hold the position in front of him. Coincidentally, Stephen hails from the same town as Ed. Oh, Sammy hits the wall! The race leader is in trouble. He's going to lose all his momentum there. As Ed mounts another attack on Stephen. Look how close he is. And Iron is ahead of Sammy as Justin takes Modgius. Sammy's dominance of the race is under serious threat by Iron. He immediately tries to retaliate. Meanwhile, Moggy quite literally all over the inside of Justin's gearbox. And Sammy's very frustrated with that mistake he's made. He's going to try and pass the case to him almost immediately. Look at the run he's got on him. I'm afraid Iron doesn't stand much chance here. But he's going to fight with all he's got. But Sammy's ahead even before they get to the corner. Oh, and Justin gets on 2 wheels there. That's going to let Moggy through easily. Nice motorcycle action there as Jake attacks Grant. Up ahead, the 2 BTS drivers are right together on the track, fighting for 6th and 7th place. Here's Iron dropping back from Sammy now. Oh, he hits the exit. That makes Roy up into 2nd place now. And 622 going to try another move into turn 3. Side by side with Grant. Is he going to pull it off? Yeah, just about. And you can look at the gap that Sammy has over Roy and the lack of gap that Roy has over Iron. He's all over him like a chewing gum on your shoe. And it's the challenging Stephen again. He's going to go right over him. Spectacular aerial pass there. As Iron unrelenting in his pursuit of that 2nd place. But Roy holding him off nicely, not giving him any opportunity to pass so far. Both of these guys need to take advantage while Ed is struggling behind them, because now he's past Stephen, he's bound to catch up. Oh, inside hit for Roy. He loses 2nd place. And Ed and Stephen are going to close on him. Meanwhile, Grant repasses 622. Riding on board with Doof Doof. Ooh, and that car's starting to resemble a crappy Mega Bloks now. Bits falling off all over the shop, and Justin completely forgets to turn for the corner. And Jake is through. This is yet another rear wing failure on Nitrous' Mercedes. Chris really struggling down the moment. He's well down the field. And Justin's got a good run on his former teammate Jake, who sweeps past on the outside of the jump. Riding with Iron. Oh, and he hits the outside the first corner again. So easy to do. But now he has to pass Roy all over again. He's going to try around the outside and turn 3. Iron getting great momentum through there and breezes past Roy. Ooh, did he hit that corner? I think he did, because Edson's closing on him. They approach the carousel, and this could be the opportunity that he needs. He has to get this absolutely perfect to have a chance of getting onto that podium. He sticks to the inside, and he goes side by side with Roy. Great respect between these two, but who's going to come out on top? We move into the right-hander, and Roy dives down the inside. But Edson decides to duke it out on the outside and gets better speed. Edson's going to make the pass, he goes through, but oh, Roy dives down the inside. He keeps the place. No, he doesn't. He hits the exit. The battle is raging on with the Biotech speed drivers. Somehow Modgius has got ahead of his teammate, but Skoda about to get back in front. Skoda's are on his practice loads for this circuit, but Modgius is considered by many to be the faster driver, and he makes the move at turn 1. Great driving by the 2 French teammates. Skoda is still right with him as they go into turn 3. Is he close enough to make a move? Just starting to pull alongside. Skoda in the green helmet, Modgius in the red and white helmet. And Skoda dives through. Is this going to work? Just caught Modgius by surprise there by braking so late. Skoda sticks to the inside line through the carousel, just like we saw Edster doing. But Moggy not going to give up this easily. Tries to dive around the outside, but doesn't quite have the confidence to make it stick, and Moggius is lost out there. Skoda trying to lap a back marker into turn 1. Oh, when he goes a bit wide, that's going to let Modgius back in. Grant starting to regain the places he lost earlier. Here's Jake, and he sweeps through back into 9th place, a timely pass for him. There's Stephen, a fair way ahead of his long-time rival Justin, who is pitting now. Fuel starting to run low. Let's see which strategy he's going to pick. I think he's going to go for pit bay 1. Yes, he does. And Skoda is re-challenging Modgius. There we go. See themselves all over each other as they try to lap Doofy, but Modgius holds the place. And I suspect that more drivers will start heading into the pits now. There's Iron coming in. Roy and Ed will pass him now, but they'll have to make their pit stops a few laps later, surely. Which strategy is he going to go for? Oh, he's going to go for pit bay 2. So he's immediately opted out of trying to do a 1-1 strategy. And most likely is going to go for a 2-1. Have to see how Roy and Ed react to that. Doof, Cyrus, Grant, Diablo, Jake and 622 all coming into the pits right now. They're all diving in. This is seriously going to shake up the order. It looks like most are going for pit bay 1 on their first stop, with only a couple venturing into pit bay 2. Grant and 622. Cyrus going for pit bay 3, trying to see if a longer strategy will help him gain places at the back. And the leader pits, the race leader pits into pit bay 1. And Chris pits in his wounded Mercedes. Who's coming in next? Ed and Roy. And Roy steaming in up behind him, trying to gain those extra few tenths as the Lotus teammates come out right together. The Reno took pit bay 1, so he had the quicker stop. You can see at the top they're still right together as 622 takes the inside, but the Reno gets a better exit. And now the BTS boys are coming in. What strategies will they pick? Modgius goes to pit bay 1, but Skoda goes to pit bay 2. Ed comes out just ahead of Roy. And he should come out in second place, I believe. Sammy, Ed, Roy, and even Steven all the way into the last minute to pit. Trying to eke out. There's Steven. So Iron is down to 5th place. 162 makes a mistake. Cast goes by him. So Iron in a difficult position now as Roy challenging Ed. Iron has to rely on the people ahead of him running out of fuel and having to take an extra stop. It's going to be tight. Going into turn 3. Oh, and looks like Ed's dropped a gear there. Roy's got a great chance here. And another mistake from Ed has let Roy through. 602 should be much faster than Cast. An easy pass around the outside there. Iron stuck behind Steven. This is not where he wanted to be. He needs to pass him pronto. He goes down the inside in the carousel. And he sweeps up into 4th place. And Jake has passed Grant using a shorter stop, but he's really struggling at the moment. Grant repasses him. And Iron driving tremendously at the moment. He's caught up to the back of Ed. And they're trying to lap Jake, who's struggling ahead of them. Perhaps his back marker could distract Ed for long enough for Iron to try and make a move. Ed breaks early. Iron dives through. Fantastic move by the Caterham driver. And Justin has caught up to the back of Moggy. These two are pretty evenly matched. It's difficult to say who's going to come on top in this battle. And Justin going to try and get round the outside, but he just runs out of road. And Justin really needs these points for Force India. Can't afford to lose them to the privateer. They approach the hairpin. He tries to dive down the inside, but Moggy covers it off. Here's the Reno. Whoa! On for the 3rd race in a row, someone's fallen outside the circuit. As Iron mucks up the first corner again and Edster gets back into 3rd place. But that's a shame for the Reno, who's running outside the top 10, but his strategy may have worked for him. And he's thrown in the towel, he's quit. One driver who is certainly far from quit is Iron, who's prepared to duke it out tooth and nail with Edster in the McLaren. He dives down the inside. Edster really struggling at the moment. Can he hold on? He's stuck to the side of Iron. And Edster has the inside, but who's going to blink first into the first corner? Edster goes a little deep and Iron powers through. Brave stuff. Edster trying to fight back but has to back out of it. Iron back in 3rd place, which is bad news for McLaren. And here's Justin. I think he's going to do a 1-2 strategy. He doesn't think 1-1 is going to get him to the end. Likewise Diablo. And Jake too, a little bit behind him. So it begs the question, can Steven and the top 3 make a 1-1 work for them? And Doof trying to do a 1-1 as well, but I don't think he's going to do it in that battered up Marussia. Cast goes for pit bay 2, Sammy in pit bay 1. So Sammy has fully committed to the 1-1 strategy. Roy will have to react to that, maybe Ed as well. Roy had a great last stint there. There's Iron and Ed. They pit the same lap as Roy, so he has to come in now. If he wants to jump Iron, I don't think there's any... Yeah, he's going for 1-1. That was the only strategy he could do. Roy leaving just as Edster stops. Steven coming in too. I don't think Roy's in reach of either of them. Modgius takes his final stop here, so he's doing 1-1 as well. We'll have to see if that's enough to beat Justin. And here's Iron coming in for his last stop. Where is he going to come out relative to Ed and Roy? And Roy's passing on the pit straight right now. There's Edster. So it has not worked out for Iron, despite his great driving. The 622 takes his last stop, followed by Grant. Here's Skoda coming in. And Diablo took his stop a few laps earlier. He's battling with Grant for position now. And Grant pulls out the pits just ahead. But that's great work by the Russian to pull ahead of Jake and 622. So now, can he get close enough to make a move? Approaching turn 3, so that'd be a great chance to make a move if he could. Ooh, a bit as he hits the wall, that lets Diablo through. And Justin has again caught up to the back of Moggy. And I have a feeling this is going to be a great fight in the closing stages of the race. Closing on that crucial turn 3 once again, they break for it. And Justin's Force India closes up a lot through there. They're side by side, I think he's going to pull ahead. Great move by Justin, that could decide the positions. But Justin runs wide. Moggy goes back up the inside. Brilliant defensive manoeuvre there from Moggy. But Justin is trying again. Trying to get around the outside, but Moggy has just enough in hand. He needs to set himself up perfectly for the final corner. He brakes early, gets on the power early, and the BTS driver doesn't see it coming. Justin up to 6th. But Moggy will latch onto every little opportunity he gets, as Justin just runs an inch too wide, and he's got a great run on Justin now. You can just hear him saying in the cockpit, "You'll have to do better than that, my friend." They're coming to the corner where Moggy has struggled a few times here. Oh, and he's a bit slow again. And Justin just powers down the outside, back into 6th place. He's running a little wide, he's pushing as hard as he can. But he goes too wide and Moggy takes advantage. This is a fantastic duel between these two great experienced drivers. But Moggy can't get the power down out of turn 3, and I think Justin's going to take it. That could be decisive in this battle. As we see Cyrus and the Caterham take his final stop. He should comfortably get to the end on that 3-1 strategy. Here's Iron, we're near the very end of the race, and he is making progress on Ed, but does he have enough laps to catch him? Well, they're moving to lap Jake, I'm not so sure. Ooh, team radio.
Half a second on him, half a second in the first sector. Now come on, close him down and kill him.
Well, they are baying for blood down at Caterham. But I can only just see Ed at the end of the long straight. It's going to be a Herculean task, even for someone like Iron, as he starts to close on the lap to Jake, who really needs to get through right now. Oh, that's a curveball. It sends him wide, loses his momentum, and I think that may have been his last chance to catch Ed. Here's Sammy crossing the line to make it 3 wins from 3 to win in Road America. Second will be Roy with a fine performance for the Williams team, which should move him up to 3rd in the standings. And here's Ed, who has somehow managed to get on the podium despite Iron being slightly faster behind him. He'll take 4th and have to settle for it. Stephen's going to come home 5th, so for those 4 who took the 1-1 gamble, it paid off. Justin is 6th, just pipping Moggy. Will have to be content with 7th. His teammate Skoda 8th after a slightly cautious strategy. Diablo putting in a great drive to beat Grant and finishing a fine 9th place with Grant just behind him. 11th, it'll be a slightly disheartened 622 that lost lots of places towards the start. Jake, on his comeback, celebrates a decent 12th place. Cast will finish 13th to get some valuable points for Force India. Chris had a horror show of a race. You were 14th. So the less said about that, the better. Cyrus will be 15th and Doof will be 16th. So, another race, but the same result. Sammy mastermindfully controlling this championship at the moment, taking yet another 35 points from this race. Roy showing some improved form, just finishing 20 seconds down on his arch rival. Iron undone by his strategy. What could he have done if he'd went for a 1-1? Stephen a strong 5th, providing a decent challenge to the leaders. Justin triumphing in that exciting duel with Mogius. Diablo drove very strongly to eradicate the demons from his crash at the last race. Grant had to hold the fort on a disappointing day for Mercedes. Jake was in the hunt for 9th place but just seemed to fade as the race went on. But still it was a good showing, having been called up at the last minute. Cast got a solid haul of points. It's no coincidence that he's leading Pool C at the moment. Chris salvaged 4 points, but the Reno, really just a race to forget there. Very unlucky to have that kill. So let's browse through the Drivers' Championship. Sammy has now got a massive lead of 23 points, but it's not insurmountable. He's still less than a race win ahead. Roy's drive today means he's moved up to 3rd and is only 4 points away from Ed, with Iron another 4 further down. 41 points further down, Justin is holding 5th, just a point ahead of Chris, who's a point ahead of 622 and a point ahead of Stephen. Just so close at the moment. Skoda is 5 points down on Stephen, Cast 2 points down on him, and Diablo a point behind him. 7 points down on Diablo in 12th place is Grant, who is 2 ahead of Mogius. The Reno's crash means he is now level with Cyrus on points. Doof is 3 points down in 16th, and he's 2 ahead of Tommen and Jake. Tommen of course has pulled out, but the 6 points will be crucial to Williams' tally. Moving on swiftly now to the Constructors. Thanks to the efforts of Sammy and Doof Doof, Marussi have got a whopping 113 points and are 28 clear of Caterham. But Williams are only 1 point behind, with McLaren a further 2 behind. Due to the consistency of Cast and Justin, Force India are starting to pull ahead of Mercedes in that all-important battle for 5th place, where they are trailing them by 9 points. And Lotus are only 5 points behind Mercedes in 7th place, with Ferrari 20 points down due to Joel's absence, but Diablo hanging on in there. Hopefully he can get a teammate before the year is out. What a nice Christmas present that would be. The next highlights video coming your way will be Le Mans Bugatti, which took place on the 15th of December, and the next race you can participate in will be Round 5 Watkins Glen on the 12th of January next year. The Race of Champions also took place very recently, and a video of that should be coming your way very soon as well. Merry Christmas from all the people at UF1R. We sincerely hope that all your dreams and wishes come true.